Hello everyone, welcome to today's LinkedIn tutoring for the MSU College of Business mentoring program. Today is November 1st, 2013. I will be offering you today a live demo throughout LinkedIn. It'll be a live tutoring session. If you have questions during this session, you are welcome to use the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen in order to post a chat to me or a question if you need to. We will hopefully have open time at the end to ask questions as well. What you see on your screen right now is the home page that when you first log in to LinkedIn, you'll get this home page that'll come up. For those of you who have a LinkedIn account, this is what it would initially look like if you go to your home page. If you do not yet have a LinkedIn profile, I'll encourage you to start one. It's very simple. You go to linkedin.com and it'll walk you through all the steps to start a profile. What I'm going to do today is walk you through some tips on having the best profile possible and also some tips on using LinkedIn for networking. First, let's just talk for a second about what is LinkedIn and why would we want anything to do with it. LinkedIn is a professional networking tool. It's the business alternative to Facebook, which Facebook is the one that we use, and Twitter as well. We use a lot with our friends and family. It's kind of the backyard barbecue conversation and the photos we share and the things we're interested in. LinkedIn is actually our more professional view. It's not just about business students participating in LinkedIn and networking with business professionals. This is any industry, and any student who's majoring in anything can have a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is designed for you to be able to network with people out in the working world in order to learn, develop, grow, find a job, meet connections that you want to stay in touch with, build that personal brand of yours, and simply be kept up to date on what's happening in your field. Your LinkedIn profile that we're going to go through in a moment should be kept career-related and truly represent your business professional image that you want to show to the outside community. Here is what a LinkedIn profile looks like. So once you have created a LinkedIn profile, this will be what it will look like based on how you build it. I want to mention a couple things first about how to navigate around. So you'll see my cursor here. We're going to look around a little bit on the screen and see what's happening for navigating. First of all, right here you notice that I have what's called a premium account. That means that I purchase extra access in LinkedIn. So I can see more people. If I'm searching for someone, I can see more information about those who might be looking at my profile. There is no reason that you have to have a premium account. If you're just getting started and you want to just simply start building your profile and start getting used to using the networking aspects of LinkedIn. The premium side allows you a broader access, so you can hold that until later if you want to. The search bar here at the top is available no matter what level of membership that you have in LinkedIn. If you have the basic account, it would say basic right here. The top will look the same. If you click here, you'll be able to do a search based on a different set of criteria. So you can search for people, jobs, companies, groups, universities, or you look in your inbox to see if there's a topic in there that you're trying to find, and you can search in your whole inbox to have that pop up. You type in here free text, what you want to search for, click on the search tool. Works just like Google does. A really important thing to know about LinkedIn is it is keyword searchable, which means that everything you may put in your profile can be searched. So as we talk about building your profile, you really want to think about keywords that people might be entering in this bar here to find you. The advanced button here is the capability for you to do a much more advanced search, and we're going to come back to that after a while. Here is where you will have your messages that someone may have sent you directly in LinkedIn. And this is invitations or notifications that of someone who has done something with your connection. To the far right, if you ever want to upgrade your account, they make it super convenient for you and have that upgrade button right there. So let's just scroll down and get a feel for what the page looks like. First and foremost, you have your name at the top. It's really important to use the name that most people are going to be searching for you by. If you have your name as Jonathan Smith on your resume, that's probably the name that you want to type in here, even though your friends, your coworkers may call you John. So you want to use the one that people are most likely going to search for you. You'll notice right over here, I have a yellow LinkedIn note. This yellow LinkedIn indicates that I have a premium account. It will show me throughout everything I share with you today where I have extra information available to me based on my premium account. This line right here is what's known as your headline. This is the chance for you to tell us who are you and what do you do. It will default to the first job that you have listed in your experience, or you can click on Edit Profile, click on the little pencil, and type in anything you want. This is a great line, students, for you to put in that you are a student at Minnesota State University, but don't just say student. Tell me what kind of student. Are you a business student still thinking about your major? Are you a marketing student, an international business student? What type of student are you at the Minnesota State University? Those of you who are working professionals in the world of business right now, you can leave it to default to your first job, or you can customize that to something that might be of more interest to someone searching for keywords. You'll notice that I have mine customized with keywords like coaching, managers, students, and careers. Those are keywords in my field. The city will normally default to the greater Minneapolis because of our proximity to greater Minneapolis. You can edit it, as I have, to Mankato. You get to choose your industry as well. The photo is not required in LinkedIn. However, it's really highly recommended. It gives that kind of smiling introduction of who you are. It's common that you're going to see this on people's profile. You don't need to have a professional photographer photo. You can, which mine happens to be, you can use a nice photo that you have smiling, looking at the camera with no distractions in the background. So a lot of times, students, if you didn't have a chance to go get the free photo taken at the career fair last week, then have a friend of yours take your picture against a relatively blank background and then load your photo in here and you simply upload it. Now this one is cropped in a little tight. Normally what I recommend is that you have it about shoulder height up. You'll be able to see how many connections you have. This line right here is what's known as your LinkedIn address. Normally, what it does to you is it defaults to say linkedin.com/pub/your name and then a whole bunch of numbers, which you can leave if you want to. I recommend that you edit it and customize it to something that's more specific to you, which then allows you to put this on your business card, your resume, allowing people who want to come and see your profile to have really easy access to it. Your contact information is important to have as well in your profile. Typically, I recommend that you have an email that's one that you check on a regular basis. If it's your student one, your MNSU email address students, keep in mind that you want to make sure that's one that you're actually going to. They now allow us to keep our MNSU email beyond graduation, so you can leave that in there, or after graduation you can change that. You can edit it to something else. Phone numbers, use the one that you're going to be answering as professional as possible. I don't recommend, students, that you put your address in here. Our working business professionals, you can put your business address in here if you'd like to. I work from home and therefore have left the address blank. Down here you can add your Twitter handle as well. You can add websites. So normally what would come up is if you add your website, like your company website, it'll just come up and say company website. So you want to come back to this edit side and edit that so it's custom and people can actually see which website they are clicking on before they go any further. The activity bar here just feeds the normal activity. So if we look at my profile in regular mode, the activity bar is what shows the different kinds of activity that are happening in my particular activity in LinkedIn. So you'll notice that, like today, I connected with Mackenzie Mulder, I connected with Chad Hess. I'm also now following Guy Kawasaki, so it just shows for you that I have some activity going on. And it's kind of an interesting way to see, oh, well, who is this Mackenzie Mulder that Heather connected with, and maybe I want to meet her as well. So this is a neat spot to be able to see who else is out there you might want to connect with. While we are right here on the screen, I want to talk to you for a minute about what's on the right side here. If we scroll up a tiny bit, LinkedIn is so nice and recommends for us people we may want to connect with. So it gives you anyone out here that you might want to connect with. These people are typically a second, so they'll second down there, on someone else's profile that I'm already connected with. When you see a first, that means you're directly connected with them. When you see a second, it's the person below the connection that you are direct to. When you see a third, it's that much deeper down in the process of connections. So conveniently, I can click through these and see if I want to connect with any of them. Here is where I can see who has viewed my profile. This is kind of interesting because it gives you a feel for who's looking for you and what they might be looking for in your profile. It tells me that 7 people have viewed my profile. So if I click on that, I can actually see who these people are. Now I have, with my premium account, I get more of these listed than you do in the basic. Okay? But it will show you who they are, and you can say, oh, I have always wanted to meet Jeff. That's great that he looked at my profile. I'll click on him and see if I want to connect with him. And if I do, I can click right on Connect, and it will walk me through the process. All right, let's continue and talk about the summary portion of your profile. This is a section you add to your profile. It's your chance to talk to the reader in first person, just as if you were sitting face-to-face having a conversation. It's your chance to be able to say, who am I? What do I do? What kind of service do I provide my clients? Who might be clients that would want to do business with me? So business professionals, this is your chance to describe what you're an expert at, how you build relationships with your clients, what kind of clients you would like to have contact you. Students, summary section is a chance for you to share your 30-second commercial. Who are you? Where are you at in school? What are you good at? And what do you want to do with your career? It's also your chance to be able to say, what kind of company you want to work for, what kind of industry, if there's a particular location or geography you're most interested in when you graduate, here's the chance to be able to talk about it. There is a limit to how much you can put in here, but I haven't even touched a fraction of what is available, even with how much I have listed in my summary. Experience is the next section. Experience is LinkedIn's version of your resume. But even better, you get much more room here to share information than you do on a 1- or 2-page resume. We want this section to be your work experience, whether it's related to your career goal or not right now, students. So keep in all your jobs. Just think about what you want to say under those jobs about your key accomplishments for that business versus just listing the job description tasks. We really want the things that you list under these jobs to tell us about what you do, what you've accomplished, what are you bringing to that business, the great stuff that you did or that you have done, the number of the results, the number of people you impact, similar to what's on your resume, but you actually get room to include so much more here. You can do this in a free-form paragraph like I have done here as an example for the program coordinator of the mentoring program, or you can do it in kind of bullet list, which is a little bit more like this one is. Okay. You build this section by adding a job under Edit and typing in your title, the organization that you work for, when you started. If you're still there, it's to present. It'll ask you if you are currently still working there. If you're finished working there, then you enter the date that you completed that work. The company logo will load automatically if this company has a LinkedIn company page. These recommendations we're going to come back to in a minute and talk about them. You want to include and go back as far as you want to. Because I've been working in the world of business for more than 25 years, I only went back part way. I have lots of other stuff back here. I just chose to end it at a certain point. So business professionals, you can choose where you want to cut this off. Students, be sure to include in this section any internships you have, any part-time jobs you have, and you want to be able to write what is underneath these sections relative to what you're contributing or perhaps, student, what you're learning at that particular job. So if it's a part-time job, you're working at Target, you can tell us what are you learning there relative to the world of business since you're majoring in business. All right, let's keep scrolling here. Now there's a section that I don't have on mine that you can add, and it would come in right about here. It's volunteer leadership. So you can have a section that's just about volunteer work and all the volunteer things that you want to be included. You can list that as well. Certifications are the things that you have that enhance your education. They're things that bring expertise to what you do. If you have certifications, be sure to enter them here. If you don't, it's a section that you don't even need to post on there. Skills and expertise. Skills is the section where you get to pick through kind of a list that LinkedIn provides you of all the different kinds of skills out there. And in some cases, you can free-form type in something that you want. The most important thing on skills and expertise is don't just tell me about your technical skills related to your job, but tell me also about some of the soft skills that you have that you do in how you approach your work. Like I have time management here. So I also approach everything I do with managing appropriate time. You can also go overboard with this list. It can get really big. So you want to put in here the really key things that you want to be known for. This group of photos here are people who have endorsed these skills of mine. Endorsements is something that you can do very easily for anyone you're connected with in LinkedIn. You don't have to. I don't necessarily need them, but it sure is nice to have them there when someone's looking through my profile. They can see that these are the most endorsed skills, which means that most people are interacting with me on these types of things that I am good at. Education, you want to be able to list where you have your education from. Students, it's not required for you to have your high school in here as well. You'll notice that I don't, because once you enter college, it's more important when you started and when are you going to be done with your college education. So you can drop off the high school if you want to once you're already enrolled in the university. For those of you, like students, who are still actively in your schooling, you want to make sure that your date that is at the end says anticipated or expected graduation date, because that indicates you're still in school, obviously. Once you're done, be sure to go back and put that in as a final date. The logos load automatically on their own because these two schools have the logos attached to their school company page. Another section that I don't have that you could add right here is something that's called projects. Students, this is a great place, a great section for you to showcase projects that you've worked on in school. And what you will do is add in what's the name of the project. You can also say who else has worked on the project. You tell us what was the project about, what was the work that you did on it, and what was the outcome of that project. It's a great way to showcase the work that you do in school. That's something you can't put on a resume. There's just no room. So if you have those kinds of key projects that you've participated in, this is a great place. LinkedIn allows you to do those right here. For those of you working professionals, if you work on a major project in your job, let's say you have worked on a merger or an acquisition, that would be a great project to talk about in here as well that showcases one of your key skills or your business capability. So you can add that as well. There's another section here that's just additional information. Now, additional information has a variety of things that you can include. These are the two sections I generally recommend. You include your interests, which are the things that you're actually interested in. And they may be things like, notice I love to read novels. That's above and beyond typically what I do at work. I mean, I'm going to be reading business articles, not novels, at work. So the reason that you include some things that are not work-related in interest is if someone wants to connect with me, let's say a library, who wants to have someone come in and help them think about how to train the managers in a particular group, they may search someone who's interested in reading and someone who's interested in management training. And because these are keyword searchable, I will show up on their list from their search. So you can include things like that if you want to. I recommend to a lot of the students, include any sports stuff in here. If you're interested in, soccer, include soccer in there, because you never know when a sports organization might want to reach out to you, or someone who's working on a project that might be sport related. Advice for contacting me. This is a chance for you to say if there are other alternatives to finding you. You can put a different phone number in here, a different email address. It's another chance for me, because I have my own private business, that allows me to be able to say, hey, take a minute, look at my website, and feel free to contact me to learn more. So it's just a nice additional piece. Under additional information, it also allows you to include your marital status and your birthday. Keep in mind, this isn't Facebook. This is a business networking tool. You don't need to disclose your marital status. I recommend you just leave it out of here. Birthday, for sure, let's leave your birth year out. All that does is allow people to not know and start trying to figure out how old you are. You can put your month and your day in there if you want to, but keep the year out. We don't want people discriminating against you in any way, shape, or form because of your age. Organizations is where you can list all the organizations you belong to. You'll notice what I have in here is professional associations that I belong to. You get to pick off of a list. Students, this is a great place for you to list your associations or organizations you belong to on campus. So if you belong to the marketing club, the finance club, accounting club, make sure that you include those in your list here. So let's talk recommendations for a second. Recommendations is where they are kind of like a testimonial, basically. And they're not a recommendation letter. They're a testimony of someone's work or connection with me. It comes from someone who is in LinkedIn. So Mr. Hurdy has a profile in LinkedIn. He and I worked together at one of our jobs, and he wrote and provided a testimonial about something I did to help him. These recommendations are awesome to get because then you have people can come right into your profile and they can say, well, I see that she's done work in the field of coaching, but what's she really like as a coach? What kind of work does she really do? What's her quality of it? You can get that from the testimonials that people may write. Now, sometimes people just voluntarily write testimonials to you because of work they've done, and these recommendations will come through. They show up right under the job they are referencing, or they'll show up simply in the list at the bottom if it's a more general recommendation. At other times, you might have to ask somebody to write a recommendation, which is totally fine to do. Let's say, students, that you might have a part-time job somewhere that you've listed in your experience, and you've done a great job there. You've even gotten a promotion while you're there. Feel free to ask your supervisor, as long as they have a LinkedIn profile, to write a recommendation in LinkedIn for you. All that does is allow them to write a testimonial about your quality of work that you have. Next is connections. This just shows all the connections that I have related to me. These are first-level connections. What's really great about this, if I'm looking at someone else's profile or you're looking at my profile, you can see all my connections. And you can say, I have always wanted to meet Deb Duchesne. You can click on Deb's profile, see if she's someone that you want to connect with, and then get connected. Groups are things that you want to try to find in LinkedIn that are similar interests to things that you're interested in, things that you might work in today, a career path that you might be going into, or groups that may have discussions on certain topics that you're really excited about. I'm going to come back to groups in a minute. Following are different categories where I can follow a person who may have a particular page that they typically write some really influential stuff. And so I want to keep in touch with their thought leadership. So I can follow them. I can follow news. I can follow other companies as well. This is a great way to follow company students. If you're interested in working at one of them at some point, you can follow them and just see how they conduct themselves in an e-world. Let's go back up to groups for a second. So we have a LinkedIn group for the mentoring program, and that particular group you can find on my profile, or you can search for it up here under groups. Okay, so you could go under groups and search for it, just type it in, or you can come to my profile and click on the mentoring program. So let's talk about groups for a second. Why would I want to join a group? Well, groups are great ways to network with people. It's like going to a giant networking group. just with people who have a similar interest to you. It's also a great way to stay in touch on particular topics or have a group of people who have similar interests. In this case, we have our mentoring program group, which allows us to write a discussion. It allows us to promote something that we may be interested in promoting, like an event or an activity. If we had jobs to post, we could actually post jobs here. And we have the ability to look at our members. We can do a search of the discussions. If we remember that someone talked about a particular topic somewhere, but we can't remember who or where, you can search for that topic. Now, what you see here is that I have the ability to manage this group. That's because I am the owner of the group. So only if you are the owner of a group do you actually have the ability to manage it. You'll also notice that this has a little padlock listed here, shown as a little icon. That means this is a locked group and only available for those who are granted access. So we have granted access to our College of Business Mentoring Program for those who are students who have formerly participated in the program or are currently participating in the program, and also to mentors who have formerly mentored or are currently mentoring. That's the scope of our mentoring program group. You'll notice it's relatively small. That's because we have in there right now many of those folks who participated in our pilot program last spring. But we're going to see this number grow dramatically this school year because all of you are invited to join this group now. You know how to find it. You simply click there, ask to join the group, and I will get a notification and be able to grant you access to it. So how do I know what people are talking about, this discussions piece? Just scroll down and you can see what people have talked about. So I saved in here the discussions for sake of illustration today, what the spring pilot students and mentors were talking about. You'll notice that it's things like, oh, I am wondering about a book that I could read. I shared a tip about a job opening. Here's a reading list. There was a whole discussion about types of books to read. Here is a insight that was shared about a particular employer. This is a speaker that came to MSU campus, and so we shared that here for everyone to be able to make it to that. So just a variety of things. This school year, what you will see me post in here, I'll start a discussion on a particular topic. So remember at the kickoff event, you got a purple folder. Inside that purple folder had a variety of pages that talked about activities or conversation topics. You will see me type in here things about those in order to generate some additional discussion. So you're going to have one-to-one conversations with your student and your mentor. But this is a great place that if you and your student and your mentor have already talked about, let's say, communication skills at work, and you've had a great conversation and now you want to broaden that, here's a great place you can come right in, start a discussion, and talk about that broader with the mentoring community. So you're welcome to do that anytime. You can add on and comment as well to any other discussions that are there. Now, another way to use the LinkedIn groups is to expand your network. You can see here that when you click on mentors, I now have a list of all 31 mentors. So I can scroll through that list, but I'm also kind of interested in the mix of that group. So LinkedIn has added this information button. I can click on there, and I can see that I have some options in order to look at my group. Let's just look at the group statistics for a second. So I can see that 94% are kind of the greater Minneapolis area, and 23% of the members in this group work in finance. Well, that's interesting. So it means that there's opportunity for a whole bunch of other folks that we're missing that could also join this group. Here's a seniority level with 8 people who are at a relatively senior level in their organization. We have 3 who are entry, just getting started. So there's lots of information that you can read on it. We can actually take the demographics and we can see a little bit more about where these people are, what function are they working in, what location are they really at, and what industry do they work in if they've listed that industry for us. 35% are in financial services. So now we know a little bit about the broader view. Let's actually look at a person, okay? Now you'll notice that I have all of mine are first because I am first connected with all of these folks in the group. I have this person right here, Caroline. We're just going to talk about Caroline for a moment. She and I talked earlier this week. Caroline is one of our mentors in this year's mentoring program, and she indicated that we could take a peek at her profile. There's some additional learning opportunities from Caroline's profile. Then we'll come back and talk about groups again. Notice that Caroline's job title says Marketing Coordinator at Windmill Electronics. I happen to know in talking with Caroline that she no longer works there. She left that organization last spring. So one of the things that she could have done on her profile is changed this headline. Remember, we talked about editing and changing this headline. She could change this headline to say Marketing Professional Seeking a New Opportunity. And she could have had that out there available for anyone who might be looking for marketing people. She now is at a spot to be able to update this with her new employer information. You'll notice that she has the a default address for LinkedIn, so that's what it looks like with all the little numbers at it. So she can actually go in and update that. And she's missing the summary section, so that's we can look at her little resume here and say, well, those are really interested, but like, wow, what did she do under these? What kinds of things did she actually accomplish? And I want to know a little bit more about, well, who's Caroline? So the summary is a way for her to tell us first person, kind of who is she and what's she all about and what kind of work does she really enjoy. Okay, so that happens to be someone's profile that you can click right from the group and go see that person and then send them a message. Right here you can send them a message and type in a message to them in order to connect with them and just talk to them individually. These messages go just from you to the person. So here's another way, because I'm caught in my messages right now, I can easily jump back to groups. So I can jump to my groups and jump right back in to the group. Okay. So this is a great group for all of you to join. I noticed that I have some people already requesting to join. That's awesome, and we'll get you in. Now, the interesting thing about the discussion pieces here in the groups are that if I type something today, like I typed this yesterday, it will feed through to, if you're a member of this group, it'll feed through to a notification in your email. And inside that email message, it'll say, this new discussion in the College of Business Mentoring Program group. You can click on that in your email, open it up, read that discussion. And then you can comment on it or add to it if you want to. That's like a 24-hour delay. So if I type something here right now, it will delay, it'll catch in all the notification feeds and pulls, and you'll see it tomorrow morning in your email notifications. However, if you're live inside of this group right now, and I type something in here, it goes instantaneously live. So there are some groups you may be a member of that you may want to look at or periodically, proactively go in and see what that group is talking about. So if we look down at groups, periodically I actually go into a couple of my groups that are in the coaching world so that I can go see what's happening in the discussions right now in those groups. I can see 2 hours ago, Simon made a comment, and I can talk about it right there if I want to. So proactively going into a group is really good as well. Let's look for a second back at our home page. We've got our profile already. We've joined a group. We're following some people. Now, here's the feed where all those people that I'm following shows up on my home page. So all of those different people or individuals who have something going on, Wesley, I think you're on the call. He's now following npr.org. That is an activity that shows up here, so I can look at it and say, oh, Wes is following this group. Maybe I should go learn about it. I can click on it right from this activity feed and go learn more about it. I can look at Josh has a new connection to Greg Reedstrom. I can click right on this Greg, who happens to be second. I'm not yet connected with him. So I can go and say, ooh, I'm interested in this Greg Reedstrom. So who is he? Go look at it. Notice, I'm going to give you a tip. He's got a bunch of stuff back here behind him. Not really good. It's a little bit distracting. I'm trying to figure out what it says. If I want to connect with him, so I can zip through his profile, look at and see what it is, I can say, oh, I want to connect with him. Now, in order to connect with him, I need to indicate how I know Greg. The great thing about LinkedIn is it has some built-in security. It just doesn't allow me to follow everybody or connect with everybody. It allows Greg to control who's connecting with him. So I have to say if I'm a colleague, that will be where we've done business, where we've worked together, classmate, where we've gone to school together, or we've done business together. One of our companies is connected. I'm a friend or other, and these two, it's going to ask me for his email address that I have to be able to know in order to get access. If I don't know Greg, I say I don't know Greg, and it may ask for an email, or it may not give me access. In any of these cases, you always want to do a personal note. It says optional, but yeah, really you always want to do one. And I always recommend that you customize that personal note so that the person who's receiving it, so Greg gets this, and I may indicate, hey, Greg, we knew each other through the Business Networking International organization we belong to together. I want to connect. Then I click on Send the Invitation. Greg gets a notification in his email box that I've requested to connect. He looks at it and says, oh, yes, I remember Heather. Yes, I'll accept that connection. So you may get requests to have people connect with you. So how do you know who to connect with, who to accept a connection from? Well, the great part about it, LinkedIn, is that you really only want to have in your connections those people who you like, you trust, and you want to do business with. Why? Because this is a professional networking e-presence tool. If I'm connected with a whole bunch of people that I don't know, I don't trust, or I wouldn't do business with, if someone asks me for an introduction to those people, how can I in good faith give a recommendation or allow an introduction? I don't even know them. Would I normally refer them in life? Probably not, because I don't know them. So filtering who requests to connect with you through, yep, I like them, I know them pretty well, and I trust them to do business with them, and I'd really like to stay connected in order for us to do business with each other in some way, shape, or form. Those are who you accept a request from. If Greg gets this request for me to connect, and he says, yeah, I don't really know Heather anymore, and I don't really want to have anything in common that we would do business together, he can decline that request. If he declines that request, I get nothing back that says, Greg doesn't want to talk to you. It simply goes away. So you won't offend somebody if you choose not to accept their request. All right? So here we are back at the home page. And I am going to open up and allow us to have some conversation. So I'm going to take you all off of mute right now. If you're in a really noisy background setting, if you could please mute your own phone to minimize that noise in the background, that would be great. And at this point, I'll unmute, and we can have any questions answered or conversations or tips that you all may have that you want to share with the group. All right, we have an open line. All right, questions? Anything that I didn't share today that you have a question about? Anything I didn't click on that you want to know? What is that button? Has anyone been using LinkedIn and found great connections through it? Anybody want to share?
I don't have any questions, Heather, but this is Uchendu. I thought you did a great job. I've used LinkedIn. I have some good and it wants me to look more ways that I can use it. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Uchendo. It's great to connect with you.
Continue.
Anybody else using LinkedIn on a fairly regular basis and have any tips to share? Nope. Anyone have any open questions? Anything we didn't cover that you want some more help with? All right. Well, in that case, we'll end a little bit early here. I will be stopping the recording and then looking for a way to be able to get that posted out on our website. If you're interested in having your profile looked at and receive some feedback about that profile, you are more than welcome to connect with me in LinkedIn, mention that we know each other, and then also request me to give you some feedback on your profile. Then I will send you a private message through LinkedIn with some tips to enhance your profile. Awesome, Wesley. We'll connect. All right. Thank you, everyone, very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on this LinkedIn tutoring for the MSU Mentoring Program. We will get this recording posted, and if you have additional questions about using LinkedIn, feel free to get going in this discussion group and raise some questions there. Feel free to email me. You all have my email address as well. And I look forward to seeing you and having conversations in the LinkedIn discussion group and seeing you at our upcoming events. Thanks, everyone. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.